Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. My name is Serge Remedy. I'm a French photographer from the amazing city of Paris, France, but living in the United States of America. And in this video, I want to try to teach you on a very beginner level Photoshop for Lightroom users. You know, there's so much you can do in Lightroom, but there are times where you need Photoshop. I just came back from Iceland. I had the best time, took amazing photos, and I'm actually going to give you some of my best raw files. The link is under the video for you to practice with it. In about 40 minutes, I'm going to teach you how to erase anything. That's probably the number one reason I use Photoshop, erasing stuff. I'm going to show you how to blend different exposures, shooting the northern light. That's going to be amazing. Then I'm going to show you how to do focus stacking, where you have something that is sharp in front and in the back, and you want a full sharp photo from start to front, and you have different photos you want to blend. Then I'm going to show you how to replace the sky in Photoshop. And last but not least, I'm going to show you how you can extend and create pixels that don't even exist. The best is for the end. So watch until the end. In 40 minutes, mesdames et messieurs, you're going to have some good basis of Photoshop for Lightroom users. Even if you don't use Lightroom, you should still watch it because it's basically what most photographers use Photoshop for. Also, I created chapters for this video. If you just want to see how to blend exposure, you can just click on the chapter either in the description of the video or under this video itself. All right, guys, let's do this. All right, so let's get this party started. So this is exclusively photos from Iceland, a trip that I did, and I thought it was kind of cool to share some of the best photos. And when I had to use Photoshop, because Lightroom unfortunately did not give me the tools to get the effect that I want. So the first one is we had this amazing horse, running around the beach. So I'm just going to do a really quick retouching, but what I want to do is to teach you how to use Photoshop to erase anything. So we're going to erase the girl, we're going to erase the string and the reflection of the girl in the string. Because if I try to do this in Lightroom using the spot hitting brush tool, it's just not going to work. Let me show you. That's a spot hitting brush tool. The way it works is that it's kind of like the stem tool. So like you can say, take this pixel here and put it there, but you can see it does like something really weird. It's just not, it's great for like small spot. This is something where you have no choice. You have to get Photoshop. So first, let's do a quick retouching, easy development. I'm just going to open up the shadows. I'm going to bring down the highlights. I'm going to, crush the blacks a little bit, boost the whites. It's too blue, so I'm going to warm it up a little bit. I'm going to add a bit of magenta and a bit of contrast, and it's already looking great. The sky is way too bright for me. So first, I'm going to crop it in 16:9. Voila, I can press the O key to see the rule of third. The horse is very centered, which is kind of fine by me, because what I have is I have 2/3 of water and 1/3 of sky. So I kind of like it. I'm just making it straight and 16:9, and then I'm going to go here and use the linear gradient. I assume a little bit of Lightroom to lower a little bit the sky, and voila, I'm very happy with the result. Maybe it's still a bit too blue, so let's add a bit of more warmth to it. I love it. You got to make sure before you go into Photoshop that you've done your best in Lightroom, because you're going to lose a lot of data when you go out of the raw format into Photoshop, because usually what happens is Lightroom is going to create what we call a TIFF file, which is just a file format, and sending over to Photoshop. So how do we go from Lightroom to Photoshop? Thank you for asking. You right-click, edit in Photoshop 2022. All right, so here I am into Photoshop. And if your Photoshop does not look like my Photoshop, not the end of the world. What you can do is you can go here to Windows, Workspace, and there's different workspace. Like you might come on Essential, which is just a different way of organizing the panels. I like to go to Windows Workspace Photography because I am a photographer. What's important is you get what we call layers here. The great thing about Photoshop is that it has a layer, and a layer is just basically a version of the photo. And Photoshop is going to look and it's going to combine all your layers together, because layers can have different way of being combined together. So you can see here there's a little lock there, and that's going to prevent me from doing anything on this photo. That layer is locked. So I could either unlock it by clicking the lock and dragging and dropping it here, But I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I want to show you a before and after. So I'm going to click the layer itself. So check this. I'm going to put it here on the plus and boom, it creates a layer 0 copy. Okay. So now we have a copy to work with. If I do something bad, I can always go back to original layer. So I'm working on that layer. You can see that layer is different color, different gray. And so how do we erase this girl? Now, there's 1,000 ways to do it. 1,000 ways. I'll show you the way I like to do it. If you have other ways, let me know in the comments how you want to do it. By the way, all these raw files, which I shot in Iceland, I'm giving them to you for free. You cannot sell them, but you can practice with them. You can even post them on your social media as long as you give me credit as a photographer with @PhotoSurge. Okay, so here we go. So the way I like to do it is I like to use this tool here, which is called the Spot Healing Brush Tool, or you can see the shortcut is J. And the way this tool works is you just brush on what you want to erase, and Photoshop is going to do its best to do it. Now, you can see the side of this brush. There's a very important shortcut you need to learn right now because I use it all the time in Photoshop, and that is Control and Option. If you hold on Control and Option on your keyboard and you go in left and right, your brush is going to be bigger or smaller. So I want a brush that's about that size, and I'm just going to brush on the lady here, really very roughly. And I'm just going to do her body first. And then and check this out. It's not great. You can zoom in. So if you want to zoom in Photoshop, you can either click here on the zoom tool, or you can learn that incredible shortcut, which is Z. So Z, I can zoom, and remember J, I can go back to my spotting brush tool, or I can click here. Okay. Now, if you don't see this tool, sometimes the tools can be combined together. For example, it's very common that the patch tool, you see, has the same J, and then the healing brush tool, J, and this tool, they're all combined on the same toolbox. So just search around for this tool when you press J. Yeah, you have to find the spotting brush tool. You can go also to Edit, Toolbar, and so this is your toolbar. You see, this is where all the tools are. So if for some reason your toolbar doesn't look like mine, this is all the tools here, and this is how they are. And so anything which has to do with erase is usually J. So you have the spotting brush tool, the brush tool, the patch tool. I use all these three, but sometimes you can even combine them. So I can drag, let's see if I can drag and drop them. Yeah, you can see I can combine them together. So now they're all gonna be on the same menu, which I don't like, because when you click here, then I've got the three tools there. I like to separate them. So let's go back, Edit, and Toolbar. So I'm just going to separate them. So I'm going to take this one out, and I'm going to take this one out. Well, this one I don't really care. I almost never use it. But these two I use a lot. I like to have them separated. Okay, so that's just in case you don't find it. So what you can do at this stage, usually I do another pass, maybe smaller on that, on the black spots. But it's not great. You see, it's not good. There's a little string there, so I can hold on the Control and Option and left click and just paint over that. And yeah, you see it's obviously not great. So comes to the rescue, it's always a mixture between the spotting brush tool and the stem tool as far as I'm concerned. This is how I do it. Again, 1,000 ways to do stuff in Photoshop. That's how I do it. So I'm going to take the stem tool, which is S for stem tool. That's a shortcut. You see, it's here. And what you're looking for is the clone stem tool. Now, this is a very old tool. It's been in Photoshop forever, and it's an amazing tool. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is when you hold on the Control and Option key, if you go left and right, you're making your tool big or small. But if you go up and down, you're making your tool, you see, harsh or very smooth. That's very smooth, that's very harsh. You want it, for the stem tool and the spotting brush tool, you want it to be smooth. Otherwise, let me show you. If I put it hard, you will see why it's not a good idea. So the way the stem tool works is super simple. You hold down the Option key or the Alt key on Windows, and you get a target, okay? And the target, it says, this is where you're gonna say, okay, this is the pixel, this is my source of information. So if I click here, right, and then I go here, I'm basically telling the software that I want to copy this, whatever was here. And I can just brush. But you see, because I've got a harsh stem tool, you can really see that I'm doing that. So it's not good. I'm going to press Command Z, like any software, Command Z, undo. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold on to Control and Option key, and you're going to go up with your mouse until you see harness is at 0%. Or you can right click, and you can also do it here. You can move the size here or the harness here. I like to do with the Control and Option and Control. I believe on Windows it must be Control and Alt. I guess that's what it is. If it doesn't work on Windows, sorry, I'm on a Mac, you right click and then you can move harness and size there. Okay, so now I'm going to do it again. I said I want this pixel to be here, and check this out. Now that my brush is very feathered, you don't see as much, okay? Which is cool. So I'm going to take that wave and I'm going to copy it here. Okay. And then maybe I'm going to take that wave and I'm going to copy it here so it's more random. And this, I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy that here. And you will see that at the end of the day, nature is so random that you're not going to see anything. I dare you see something. I'm going to copy that. And you could say, why don't you do it from the start with the stem tool? That's how I like to do it. I like to go back and forth between the spot setting brush tool. So for example, for the string here, I'm going to make that tool a bit smaller. And I'm going to follow the rope with my mouse, which is not easy. I'm going to follow the rope. And let's see here. Boom. Yay. Well, you can see there's some error. But then I press S for stem tool. Okay, you see this is a bit blurry. Here, I'm just going to go back. So I press J for the spot hitting brush tool. Like this is the two shortcuts you need to really learn. And I'm just going to brush here on her shadow. And hope that the spot hitting brush tool will do a good job. Let's see. Not really, but it does help. It's just, that's the way I like to do it. And then still the spot hitting brush tool. Okay. I love this it's kind of, you just brush and you erase. And now, and then here also. So take out the reflection here. Okay, now comes the stem tool again. So S for stem tool, make sure you're on the stem tool. And I'll show you a really power move on using the stem tool, because sometimes you're gonna get some weird things that's just not gonna work. Like what I'm doing with the stem tools is all the obvious problems, like very obvious. Like you can see something is really weird there, you know. And then you're gonna get repetition. You see how I have the same wave here? So you just kill one of the repetition by randomly taking something else like that, and voila. Then you can go back to the spot hitting brush tool and erase some of that dark spot here and here and here just to make it clean. And it's already pretty good. So what I do, and that's the final touch, I take back my stem tool here. And then the opacity, I put it at 50%. So instead of copying what's there at the Option key, it's only going to copy half. And you see here it is something weird there. So I'm going to hold on here and I'm just going to copy, I'm going to paste that, but it's only going to do half of it, which sort of helps to blend the texture together. So I can just randomly take something there, but I'm only copying half of it. And because nature is so random, usually people are not going to see anything different like this. It's already, I could spend more time, but look at this, before and after. It's pretty good, I would say. So you have to look at it like very up close, and then you have to zoom out. So to zoom out, you just press Z, and then you hold on the Option key to zoom out. And if you don't hold any key, you zoom in. So Z for the tool, and then you hold on the Option key to zoom out and zoom in. You see something is weird there. That's fine. So I'm gonna go back to opacity 100%, and I said, okay, let's put that wave here, or maybe that wave here and here. And wave is so random. You see, it kind of works, you know. Voila. And I can see that there's some stuff a little weird there. So I'm gonna put the stem tool back at 50%. And I'm not going to spend, I would probably just in real life spend a little more time, but I don't want to bore you with details. I guess you get a sense of it, and it's still pretty good. I'm pretty sure nobody's going to notice that there was a girl there. So that's the stem tool. Okay, now let's go back to Lightroom. One thing that's very important, you can go to File, Close, Save. And what that's going to do is going to create a TIFF file, and it's going to put it back in Lightroom next to the raw file. Okay, and you see here, that's the original raw file, and next to it is a PSD. You see it says PSD, and boom, that's the result. Beautiful horse in Iceland. Okay, next, Again, this is something that Lightroom cannot do. I want to show you how you shoot the northern light, the Aurora Borealis. Amazing. So check this out. I was with a guide that's been shooting the northern light for many years, and he told me to do what we call a plate. What is a plate? A plate is like basically you frame your scene, you find some cool foreground elements, and you do a very long exposure to get a clean foreground. What do I mean by a clean foreground is this. Check this out. So I press I. You see, this is a 151 second at f4, ISO 400. So I'm on a tripod at f4, 151 seconds. And so I get starlight effects, but all I really care is the foreground, which is here. Let me show you at 100%. So you see how clean the mountain is. Let me show you the difference when I took this photo here. So check this out. So this photo is only going to be for the foreground because the northern light, because it's a 2.5 minute exposure, is kind of blurry. And I want to get very sharp northern light, okay? So this one is only now at 2500 ISO, f4, only 4 seconds. So 2.5 minutes, 4 seconds. Because the northern light changes all the time, what I do is I take different photos at 4 seconds to get different shapes. And then I'm going to blend the one I like the most with the original photo. Let's see here. Maybe this one. I like this one a lot. Or no, this one is kind of cool because you can really see that shape. I don't know. So what I'm going to do first is, let me reset this. I'm just going to do a very quick retouching on this one. Not much. I'm just going to make it even more blue because I find that northern light, if you go more blue on white balance, it becomes blue and green, which is kind of cool. Maybe a little bit of magenta, a bit of contrast, and open the shadow just a tad. Maybe a bit of texture and clarity to make the foreground pop. This is way too bright. We had a truck coming, so that made that bright. So what I can do is I can go here, take a little brush, and darken a little bit the exposure here. So that we, even more, so that we don't have the attention on that. Yeah, too much, like it was just too bright. Okay, cool, I like that. I like that as a foreground, I think it works. Maybe it's just a little bit brighter, it works. And now, so now you take one of the 3 photos. So basically I was just on a tripod taking different photos. And you see this one is 4 seconds, this one, and then you just take the shape you like the most. Because I already did this one, I think I'm gonna do this one, or this one. I think this one is kind of cool. I'm going to do this one. So let me reset it so you see where it's at. So that's how it looks. But check this out. I'm just going to make it brighter so you can see. Look how muddy it is because a 4 second exposure is good for the sky, but it's not good for the mountain. It's like I couldn't print it. And I want to sell this in galleries. So I am going to open the shadow a little bit. I'm going to bring down the highlights. I'm going to boost the blacks. I'm going to lower the exposure, boost the whites until... Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure I like this. I think I'm going to go back to that. That was really the best. Starting, I'm just going to boost the whites, open the highlights, bring down a bit the highlights. I don't want to burn my Aurora too much. Maybe you just boost the overall exposure. Now this one is a 2500 ISO, so I need to, before go to Photoshop, I need to clean up my sky a little bit. So, but again, I only care about the sky. So what I'm usually going to do is about 25 of noise reduction, about 80 of sharpening. And I'm going to do the masking here. Masking is very important because masking, let me show you. When you hold on the Option key or the Alt key on Windows and you use the masking, what you see in black is not going to get sharpened. I only want to sharpen the stars, not the sky itself. So maybe like around 78, and that's good. And now we got, it's still a bit noisy, but not that much noisy. Maybe let's add a bit more sharpening. It's kind of cool. Maybe even add a bit more clarity and texture to it because all we care is really for the top. Okay, cool. So now, I forgot to change the white balance. I can see right away. And one little trick, and this is more a Lightroom trick, but if you drag and drop your original photo, so that's going to be the plate, the mountain, and this is what we're doing. I can change the white balance until it matches this one, or I can copy and paste the white balance, but I like to eyeball it like this. Okay, cool. So I'm going to use that top and that bottom. So how do we mix both? Well, thank you for asking. And that's when Photoshop comes into view. Because I did a lot of work in Lightroom, I'm just going to select both photos and I'm going to use a new feature in Lightroom. I mean, not new, but a different feature, than what we use. It's called Open as Layers in Photoshop. And what that's going to do is very simple. It's going to open one Photoshop file and it's going to put both layers on top of each other. So you have one file, and so this is the bottom. Let's rename it the bottom. Okay, the mountain. And this is the top, which is the sky. I want the top to be at the top. So the first thing I need to do, because maybe I moved a little bit between two photos, is I'm going to select both layers and I'm going to go to Edit, Auto Align Layers. What that's going to, and I'm just going to use the basic option. What that's going to do is going to make sure these photos are completely aligned. And you see here, there's a bit of a white line here. It means that they were not perfectly aligned. And now they are perfectly aligned. Okay. And now the way I'm going to blend both exposure is very simple. I'm going to go on the top photo. I'm going to go to Select, Sky. So now the top of the photo is going to be selected and it's a sky. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I'm going to press W or go in a Magic Wand tool or any of these select tool, either Object Selection tool, Quick Selection tool, Magic Wand tool. You just can press W. When you do that and you have your mask on, you see this is what we call the marching ant. This is the mask that the Select Sky did, and I'm on the top layer and I have this mask active. I'm going to go here to Select and Mask just to refine my mask, okay? That's going to open up a new window, and you can see here there's different view mode. Usually, the one you're going to get by default maybe is this one. I like to go to this one. You can have like marching ant, which is what we see here. So it's just the sky selected. You can have overlay. So overlay is going to show you what is not selected. On black, on white, black and white. So that's the mask. The mask, the white reveals, the black conceals. So you don't care about that. Just you want to go on layers. And on layers is going to show you the end result. Meaning this is the top and the bottom mix. So you can see this is amazing. So, and I would advise you to zoom in a little bit. And you can see here there's a bit of a halo there. And we don't want that. That's why I'm using this option. So there is something here called Shift Edge. If you go left here, check this out. It's going to shift the entire mask. It's going to look weird. But if I go right, it's going to help reduce that halo. And you can also smooth out this a little bit. And the halo is going to be a lot less. You just play around with that. Like again, let me show you. If I go Shift Edge here. Oh, I jumped. Let me go back to the layer view. Yeah. And I just move my Shift Edge here. I want to show you, there's a bit of a bug on this interface. So check it out. This is before. And just see what blends better. Usually it's putting the edge a little more on the right side of things. Yeah, like this. It's kind of cleaner. Okay, so that's all I did. I click here and I just move the Shift Edge so that my mask is a little bigger. Okay, and I'm going to press OK. So here is my mask, and now, are you ready? I'm just going to click here. Boom. This option says create a match with the selected sky. So this is my mask, and now, check this out. I got best of both worlds. I got the top of the sky blended with the bottom. But you see, I'm losing, remember here, there's a bit of an aurora that's there. Which is missing because it's using all the bottom layer. And so this is the mask. And if you want to see what a mask looks like, you hold on the Option key. The way mask works in Photoshop is that white reveals, black conceal. Remember that sentence, white reveal, black conceal. So what's happening here? So I'm holding on the Option key. We have a mask. So that means anywhere where there is white, and there is white on the top, means it's going to put through what is on that layer. What is on that layer? It's the top, it's the sky, right? And then anything where there is black, which is black here, it's going to prevent, it's going to show the bottom. It's going to show, it's missing both photos. But if I want to get the reflection of that here at the bottom, all I have to do is put some white here, and I'm going to get that reflection back. So all I'm going to do is take a brush, B for brush tool here. Same thing, you can right click, you can make sure the hardness is at 0%, or you can do my trick that I love, which is Control Option. You go up and down to make the hardness, and left and right to make it big. So I'm going to make it that big, and I'm going to make it hardness at 0%. And I'm going to make sure that I'm clicking on the mask, not on the photo. If you click on the photo, you're going to put black on the photo, white on the photo. Let me show you. If I go here, and I want to make sure that I'm putting white. But what is my color right now? My color is black. You always have two colors in Photoshop. You have the foreground color and the background color. So how do I get my white to be my foreground? Well, simple. You just press X. And I'll show you a trick. Let's say you got some weird, that can happen. You got some weird colors there. Like, oh, it's not black and white. You just press D for default. And then you press X to get white as your foreground. And now, so if I brush, you see, if I make the mistake of click on the photo and brush in here with white, what's going on here? White 100%. Yeah, you see what's happening? Well, nothing is happening, but you can see here, I put some white there. You don't want that. So what you want to do is make sure you're on the mask. And now check this out. As I brush with white, oh, sorry, I'm on black. So X to go to white. As I brush, I'm bringing back just that reflection, which is what I want. Maybe just that reflection. And then if like, let's say I brought too much, I can just press X and now I'm back to black. I can make it bigger and I can just say, no, I just wanted that reflection and nothing else, which is what I want. So I'm mixing both. And now look at the mask. Again, press the Option key. You see white, we let all the sky pass through and that reflection. And now we've blended both exposure, okay? So all I have to do now is close this, save it, and it's gonna come back into Lightroom. Now remember, we had to align it so there's a little bit of a white fringe there. So I'm gonna have to crop it anyway. I'm a big fan of 16:9. So I'm gonna crop it 16:9 when it comes back. Okay, and here we are. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the crop tool in Lightroom. I'm gonna go 16:9 because that's my favorite cropping. I'm gonna go like that. And then that way I'm making it a bit smaller. I'm getting rid of that. And check this out. That's the final result of blending both exposure, and that's ready to be printed, which is kind of cool. Okay, next we're gonna do focus stacking. Now, so what is focus stacking? Focus stacking is, let's say I want these flowers to be in a foreground, and I want everything to be sharp, but I really want to zoom in on the flowers. So what I did is I went on a tripod and I focused first on the mountain. You see how the mountain is super sharp, but look at the flower, it's super not sharp. And then I did the opposite there. So I used my spot focusing on my camera to focus on the flower first, and then the mountain is very blurry. So I want to blend this exposure. So what I'm going to do, because I'm going to go to Photoshop, and on this one, I'm going to do a sky replacement also. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to open the shadows on the first one. I'm going to do a basic retouching, bring on the highlights. I'm going to crush my blacks. Yeah, do my white, add some contrast. Now this one, I want to make it much warmer. So I'm going to add a lot of warm colors and magenta because I want to change the sky, and I'm going to show you that in a second. So, okay, I like that. I like what I did here. So what I can do is I can just select this photo and click synchronize, and I synchronize everything. So now we have the same retouching. But remember, this one, the flower are blurry, and this one, the flower are sharp, okay? So same thing again. I'm going to right click, edit, and open as layer in Photoshop. So again, one file, two photos. And on this one, it's going to be extremely quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of these layers, and I'm just going to go to edit. And instead of using auto align like we did earlier, I'm going to use, actually, let's do auto align first, which is actually always a good idea. You align the photos to make sure, because maybe I moved a little bit. Yeah, don't think I did. Check this out. Before and after, you can see the flower going in and out of focus. And then I'm going to go to edit, blend layers. And same thing, I'm just going to take the default option, and it's going to create a new photo based on both photos where everything is going to be sharp. Check it out. And now let's zoom in, and the flowers are sharp and the mountains are sharp and everything is sharp. Isn't that amazing? So I can zoom in, and to move around in a photo, you just press the space key and it becomes a hand. So you can see this is sharp and this is sharp. This is what I wanted. So now to make it even more crazy, let's do a sky replacement on what we got left. So I'm going to go to edit, sky replacement. And because I warmed it up, I want a sky that will match at that time of the day. So here I am. Let's see here. That's actually pretty good. That was like the last sky I used. But you have to be very careful. Like the sun is here, so everything is supposed to be backlit. The sun was actually, if you look at the shadows on the mountain, it was very overcast. So we need an overcast sky where the sun is not in the view. Maybe this can work. Now you see the sun is too present. So this is like a whole bunch of skies that you find. I added some of my own sky. I just want something really cool, but make sure you don't use, because you see there's hardly any shadows. You want something that's very overcast. And by default, you'll get a lot of skies. If you go to my website, you can also buy, I have like a 110 collection of Florida skies you can purchase if you want. But, you know, they have some really cool feature here. Maybe this guy here. I'm trying to find something that's going to work. That's going to look nice. Ooh, this is nice. This is actually from my Florida sky collection. This kind of works. There's no, you know, we could pretend that it's overcast, so it's kind of cool. Okay, so now we got everything sharp. We changed the sky. I'm ready to go back. I'm going to close that, save that, and do a final retouching in Lightroom. So again, it's going to create a new PSD file. It's either PSD or TIFF. Mine is actually set on PSD, and PSD is just mean Photoshop, file, and it's going to come back into my Lightroom next to the photo. Okay, so that's the final result, and now I'm ready to do a double retouching in Lightroom. So I'm going to open the shadows, bring down the highlights. I'm going to crush the blacks, and then to blend this, even add some contrast. I think I want to add. I'm going to take a brush and I'm going to pretend there's some like light shining on this from the sun that's here on the right side. I'm going to brush here a little bit, just add a bit of exposure on this, and then I think I want to darken a little bit, so I'm going to use a linear gradient here to darken the top of the sky a little bit, something like that. And voila, it's all sharp photos with sky replacement. Okay, one more trick I want to show you is how to extend the crop of a photo with content aware fill. And I also want to show you some erasing stuff again, because erasing is what I use mostly Photoshop for. So this is again the same horse on the beach. I'm going to open up the shadow. I'm going to bring on the highlights. I'm going to do the whites, the blacks, add some contrast, the usual stuff, make it a bit warmer, add some magenta, and maybe some more contrast, even more. Make it brighter. I kind of like that, but you see the sky is way too bright, so I'm going to go here, add a linear gradient, voila, lower the exposure, voila. And don't forget, you can download all these photos. I'm giving you the raw files. So what I advise you to do is just retouch them, practice doing what I just did, and then post them on social media and just give me credit at PhotoSearch. That's where I am. That's what I use for every social media. So just make sure you follow me on Instagram and you credit me for the photos, and you're gonna get a lot of likes and comments because these are great raw files I'm giving you guys. Cost me a lot of money to get these ones. So, okay, I'm gonna do the black point and voila. And basically that's that. But you see, the problem with this portrait is like, you see, there's a rule in portrait that I like is when somebody is looking on the side, you want to give them more space. So I want to erase that. I want to erase these people, and I want to create mountains that don't exist. Believe it or not, I want to create mountains that don't exist. So how do we do that? Well, thank you for asking. We're going to right-click, edit. Before we do that, I actually want to brighten the horse a little bit. I'm just going to brush his face a little bit here, because he was in a shade, in the shade, and don't see much of him. All right. Now that's too much. So when you don't want a brush stroke, you can just hold on the Option key on Lightroom and erase that. Yeah, I just want to make his face. What a beautiful horse. I love horses. Okay, edit. And this time we're just going to edit in Photoshop 2022. No need to open as layers, nothing. Okay, here we are. Again, I'm going to drag and drop that layer on the plus so that it's on a separate layer. First thing, I'm going to erase things. And remember, what do we do to erase? First thing is we use the spot hitting brush tool. So I click on it, and then I make sure that it's about 2-3 times the size of that string. And check this out. I'm just going to follow it. I'm going to go over his body, and the software should figure out that I'm trying to get rid of that string or that. And look at that. Look at that. And then I can take the stem tool. Remember stem tool, and I can just erase some of that. Oops, no. Command Z if you did a mistake. That's really cool. And then go back to spotting brush tool and check this out. When there is like small stuff, usually with a couple of strokes, it does a pretty good job. Okay, and then S for stem tool. So it's always J and S, J and S, J and S. And then I'm just gonna paste that here. And voila, it's already pretty clean. You can see before. You see by turning off this little eye here, it turned off the visibility of that layer, and you can see because Photoshop is reading from the top down, before, after, before, after. Oh, I see there's something weird here on the texture. Oh, it's actually kind of cool. Okay, no problem. All right, so now there's something I don't like. I want more space here. So I'm gonna take, this is so crazy what I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna take this crop tool here, and you see there's an option here, content aware. I'm gonna select that. And I'm just gonna move that here because I want that much space. You see, look at the rule of third. I want the rule of third to be on the horse, but now I need all that space and I'm gonna let it go. And because I've activated content aware, Photoshop, as soon as I press enter, is gonna do a magic and is gonna try to create the mountains that I'm missing. And of course, it's not gonna be perfect, but check this out. Look at that, before, after. Of course, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Then I'm gonna take the stem tool, make it really big, opacity 100%, and I'm just gonna clean up here where it didn't do a really good job, just here. And you see, we see a line here, so I'm gonna lower, I showed you before, the opacity of the stem tool, and then I'm mixing both texture, so it's more real. Oh, okay. You have to be very careful when you do, I did Command Z twice. When you do close to a border, you click on the border and then you align, you can see a preview, you align it perfectly and then you brush. Look at that. And the mountains hardly needs any, I can maybe just go here and, erase that or erase that. And, to make it even more random, it's just beautiful. Check it out. Before, after. And then I'm going to go to File, Close, and that's going to come back into Lightroom, and I'm ready to do a double development on it. Okay, here's the photo back in Lightroom. I'm just going to open the shadows, bring down the highlights. I'm going to do the black. I think I want to do take a little gradient and just make a little gradient where I added a little bit of pixel just to hide them a little bit. Maybe not too much, just a bit. And then I think I want to put more emphasis on the horse by using a gradient here to make it darker. And voila. So I hope this helped you. Download the raw files. Take the time. Watch this video over and over. You should be able to get the same result as me. Post them on your social media. Give me credit as a photographer. And I hope this video has helped you to learn Photoshop. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you didn't get a chance to do that, because I try to make a lot of videos like this. I've been doing this for about 8 or 9 years now. And I'll see you in another video. Thank you very much. Au revoir.